All right. Shrimad Bhagwatam. King Parikshit had, in his foolish, impulsive behavior, remember, had put a dead snake around the Rishi's neck because he felt insulted that the Rishi had not responded to his request for food and water because he was deep in meditation. And because of that, the Rishi's son, Shringi, had cursed Parikshit that in 7 days he will be bitten by the snake Takshak and he will lose his life. That's where we left yesterday. So King Parikshit then returns back to his palace and immediately he regrets his impulsive and foolish act and says, how could I have done such a horrible thing? I must be punished for this. He accepts full responsibility for his act. Soon the news comes to him that he has been cursed by Shringi and that he's going to be stung by the serpent, Takshak, and he's going to die in 7 days. For most of us, to hear such a news would be tantamount to having a panic attack, to go into some sort of a frenzy, depression maybe, fear, psychosis, but not King Parikshit. King Parikshit gladly accepted this sentence that he had received because he said, I have done an unpardonable sin for which I accept my punishment and I'm ready to die in 7 days. Now, Parikshit could have, done many things. He could have had all the snakes in the kingdom killed. He could have locked himself up in a kind of a fortress where no snake could have entered. He could have worn some sort of armor through which no snake can bite him. But not Parikshit, because he always was a firm believer in dharma. He gladly accepted his punishment. He crowned his son, Janmajaya, as the next king, gave the kingdom away to him, and went away to spend the last 7 days of his life sitting at the banks of the river Ganga in contemplation about what he has done and where he stands in his life right now. Now, hearing this entire turn of events, because obviously this is a big news, and if it was happening now, it would be on all the channels. And that time also they had their own channels of information. So hearing this, all the sons, all the rishis of the kingdom and of other kingdoms also came to sit with Parikshit and bless him. And among all those sons and rishis, there was one Shukdev Maharaj. Shukdev Maharaj was the son of Ved Vyas. And if Bhagwan Ved Vyas was so knowledgeable, so jnani, so proficient in everything, his son, Shukdev Maharaj, only 16 years old, was an avdut. If you saw him, he was tejasvi, he's resplendent, he was radiant, and his spiritual aura was such that no other living being had such a beautiful radiance to him. As soon as Parikshit saw all these sons and rishis coming, excuse me, he got up. He got up and he prostrated before all the sons, and he considered himself so blessed, so utterly blessed, that he was in the Sangh of sons in the last days of his life. He told all the rishis that now, the last 7 days, all I want to do is hear the name of Bhagwan. I want to hear the stories of Bhagwan. I want to hear the glories of Bhagwan. And I want to just be like that, revel in Bhagwan. He asked 3 questions. He said, what is the best way for a person to die? Second question, what is the best action that a person can do when he knows he's going to die? And the third question is, what are the duties of a dying man? It is said that Shukdev Maharaj, being an Avdut, never stayed in one place for more time than it took to milk a cow. When Shukdev Maharaj saw this Raja Parikshit wanting to hear the names of Bhagwan, the glories and stories of Bhagwan, as his last dying wish, he just sat down and he said, I'm not going anywhere for the next 7 days. I'm going to sit here and give this beautiful gyan of Bhagwan as your dying wish. That is my offering to you. Whenever the Guru sees an adhikari shishya wanting to revel in the thoughts of Bhagwan, even the Guru feels so happy to just share that joy with the shishya. And that is actually the whole Shrimad Bhagwatam. The other rishis and sons said, what? Shukdev Maharaj is going to talk about the Shrimad Bhagwatam. Then we will also sit for 7 days. So everyone was sitting there for 7 days hearing this story. And they said, we are not going anywhere because we see a self-realized master giving the stories to an adhikari shishya. So we are convinced that at the end of 7 days, even Parikshit will attain self-realization. So they were saying that we are also feeling blessed because we are going to see this fantastic milan of an adhikari shishya with an evolved master. Now, I'm going to stop the story right here today because I'm not going to tell you what happens after that. But I'm going to tell you that I don't know, I'm not very bad at dates and history, but we have a Siva historian, she will know. I think about 8 or 10 years ago, I had asked all of you all, some of you all actually, to write down what would you do if you knew that you had 7 days to live. And I'm telling you, I have that document still with me. You'll be surprised to know that. And when I read that document, I don't know whether I should laugh or whether I should cry. Because the kind of things people would like to do in the last 7 days of your life are so ridiculous. I don't know, should I laugh at them or should I cry at them? The best 7 days that one could spend was the way Parikshit spent them. In the Sangha of sons, surrounded by rishis and sons. Obviously, all of us cannot have that blessing. The second best is that you are with your Guru. Your Guru is sitting with you as you breathe your last. Okay, that's also not possible. Then what? Then be careful. Spend it with Bhagwan. Bhagwan is always with you. How to spend it with Bhagwan? Bhagwan is within you only, no? So start having satsang with Bhagwan. Remember his name. Remember your jap. Remember your Guru mantra and chant it. They say that the last thought that you have as your Atma leaves the body will dictate where your Atma will move on to. The Sadgati, the Gati of your Atma will depend on the last thought that you have had before your Atma leaves the body. So people say, well, that's fine then. I will live my entire life in any old way. And at the last minute, I will think of Bhagwan and I'll get Sadgati, big deal. No, you won't. Because the last thought, when your Atma leaves the body, will depend on the dominant thought you have always had during your lifetime. If you have had thoughts of Bhagwan during your entire lifetime, then at the time of death also, you will think of Bhagwan. And if your entire life you have thought of your Dukan, then at the end of your life also, you will be thinking of your Dukan only. So it's entirely in our hands. Again, I come back to the same moot point. It's your choice. It's your choice where you want to go after this life. And based on that choice, decide what will be your last thought. And based on that last thought, think what is going to be your default setting during your lifetime. I leave you with that profound thought. Think of it and see what you want to do as your default setting during your lifetime. Matas,